Hey everyone, we had a very simple message to share, and that message has been shared now over 150,000 times. We wanted to tell the governor of the state of Texas that we were dying, and I don't know if he heard it, but a lot of other people did. And in all of that, the message that I received from all of those people, 99% of those people, was please, please keep sharing. Because the message we have is all of their message. So when 130 plus thousand people say that we should be saying something, then we're going to say it. And so we have more messages for you. And we're going to come every day and we're going to do the exact same thing until there is some result. The first message is for the public. All of you out there in all of your cities, in all of your neighborhoods, all your communities, bars are not just boxes that manufacture drunk people. We are the epicenters of community. We are the definitions of cities. Without Warren's Inn, without Grand Prize, without Two-Headed Dog, Houston is dimmer. Without the Richardson, without Leanda, Brooklyn is dimmer. Without La Palapa, without Holiday Cocktail Lounge, the East Village is dimmer. Without Inkwell, Omaha is dimmer. Without Three Clubs, without Residuals, without Harvard and Stone, LA is dimmer. I could do this all day. I could do this all day. You can participate in these societies. You can participate in these communities and not understand what it is that they are because it's not your job. It's our job. But now you need to understand what is at risk. The first thing that's at risk is human lives. And many of those lives are people who are forced to go back to work in those places when you're reopening your economy. So think about that before you go and try to argue about a mask with someone who literally had to go back to a job they didn't want to go to because it wasn't yet safe. This is a message from the future. We're in Houston, Texas. We're 3 weeks down the line, farther than any major city in the United States. And I'm here to tell you that if you screwed up as badly as we screwed it up, then you're going to see the same spike in cases. COVID-19 is raging through the bar community right now. It's raging through it. And I guarantee you, it's a very simple math equation. If 10 people on a staff get sick and they work sick, how many people did they interact with in a night? And where did those people go? The spike in these cases is directly related to reopening our economy. And it's not our economy, it's places of convenience. You don't need to go and you should stay home. To all the people who are thinking of reopening in those economies, I was wrong. I was wrong. When we tried to reopen in as safe and responsible way as possible, it turns out there was no safe and responsible way. Because the only people, pretty much, who wanted to go out were the people that were comfortable to do so. And a lot of those people were the ones who said, I don't want to follow your guidelines. I don't want to do your stuff. I don't want to wear your mask. There are 700,000 bartenders in this country, and they're all suffering. This is an existential crisis. Our first crisis is that we, as humans, are exposed and we're dying. And if we get exposed and you guys come out, you'll get exposed too. That's how it works. But if you want to have a world that you recognize at the end of this mess, then you have to understand that we need to remain. Because if we go away, then all of this stuff falls apart. I'm in downtown Houston right now, and they spent millions of dollars trying to build a derelict downtown up over the course of years. These months could destroy that entire effort, and they'll have to start all over again. And that's one city and one neighborhood and one community. You can say that about every single city in the United States. You will have to do it again. And it will cost way more in the future than figuring out something now. So as people, as citizens, and as guests in our bar, the very least you can do for us is share. And it's not just bartenders. You know, it's everybody. It's restaurants, everybody in service. It's tattoo artists. It's people who do your hair, people who do your nails. It's the people who are in the mall and ring up your purchases. We had to go back for your convenience, and your convenience is making everything worse. It's not reopening the economy. It's short-term thinking with long-term consequences. And for every city who's thinking about crawling into reopening, I'm looking at you, Los Angeles, New York, looking at Seattle, all of you places that are thinking of trying to find a way to let people back into your spaces, I'm going to give you a message from the future, because we were the experiment. Texas was the experiment. Governor Abbott decided to experiment on the humans in the state of Texas, which includes 4 of the 7 biggest cities in the United States, and said, let's see what happens. And now we know. Now we know, because now we have to close back down, because the people who were responsible stayed home. There was a small group of people who said, yeah, let's see, like we want to be responsible and we want to try it too. And they were there, but most of the people who didn't were all of the knuckle draggers who decided everything was just over. That's not a Texas thing. That's an asshole thing. And you guys have assholes too. It's going to happen to you unless you do it right. And at this point, I don't know if there is a right. But insist. You have to insist. If someone is going into your place that doesn't have a mask, they shouldn't have anywhere to go, anywhere near you that would let them in. You have to coordinate. You have to insist that people do things right. We could have done that. We could have done that. And if we did it, maybe we wouldn't be in this position. But if I turned someone away because they didn't want to do what was right, there were plenty of other places that were unscrupulous and allowed them to come in. And there were enough of them, and there were enough people that allowed this virus to infect my community in droves. Bartenders are my people. You guys are my people. So if you're going to do it, if you're going to participate, go to every single person on your street, every single business on your street, and make sure that anyone who is not inclined to take the basic precautions to take care of your workers doesn't get to go and infect anybody else. We are the ones who have to make these decisions. We are the ones who have to enforce these rules. And it's not just true here in Houston. Again, from the future, I'm telling you, this is where you're at. This is what we've come to, because no one has a rational plan. No one knows. And no one's willing to admit it. So all we can do right now is make noise. And I'm begging you, please, share this with everyone that you think it touches. Every single person. Send it to your governor, send it to your mayor, send it to your city councils, show them this message, because everyone at least needs to say, we are going to beat this drum until you're so tired of hearing it that you're just going to address us just so we'll stop. Because I guarantee you, everyone who is talking to all of the people who are in charge don't have our interests in mind. And we cannot allow them to erase us. Because, first of all, it sucks for us. Second of all, it will destroy your communities. It will destroy the identity of your cities. And if you think I am being too dramatic about it, give me a month and see what happens. The blood in the water is already too much. If there's any more blood in this water, we will not be able to live in it. Human lives are the most important. And I've said from day one, if I have to sacrifice what I do as a business for human lives, one human life, I will not make that choice. But as an industry, and as communities, and as a country, we can find a way to make it through. I know we can, but we cannot do it unless all of us sing the same song. We gotta sing the same song. And we gotta go to all the people who make all these decisions and say, you must help all of these people. You must help all of these people. We need to sing the same song. If we don't, the economic and cultural impact will be beyond measure. Do not allow them to pretend that if they close their eyes and plug their ears, that it'll somehow magically get better. It won't. It won't. We can see what happens a week from now, a month from now. We can imagine. And math shows us how things are going, because it's just going up. And unless we stop right now and try to preserve what we have, we will not have something to come back to. This is a message from the future to all the people that are saying reopening right now, because you will get here. So I hope you learn our lessons. So yeah, that's where we're at. Don't touch your face. Sanitize. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. More than that, don't let anyone come up to you and talk to you unless they have a mask on. The only way through this is if we care enough about our fellow human beings to do everything we can to make sure that another person survives. A mask is a statement that I'm taking care of you. And if we can do that, that's a lesson we'll take into other things as well. But first things first. Right now we're in triage, and we have to treat it like triage. So spread this word. Send it on social media to everyone that you can think of, including your mayor, your governor, and your city council. And, I hope we all survive.